A very good morning. It's past 8 this Tuesday morning. We're back again with another edition of Breakfast News. Over the next 60 minutes, we cut all the noise, help you keep your poise as we bring you facts straight from the ground on stories that matter from the field of politics, business, sports and entertainment. Also a big look on COVID-19 and the race for vaccines. I am Anil Thomas. With me this morning, my co-anchor, Nancy Kohli. Nancy, good morning.
Good morning, Anil. How are you doing this morning?
Well, pretty excited. Last day of the shift.
All right. On that note, yes, absolutely. Let's begin the show. We'll get you all the news from across the nation, sports, business and international updates as well. But first, a check on the headlines.
United States gives Legion of Merit to Prime Minister Narendra Modi for his leadership in elevating the US-India strategic partnership. Ambassador of India to the United States, Taranjit Singh Sandhu, accepts the medal on behalf of Prime Minister Modi.
Prime Minister Modi to speak at the centenary celebrations of the Aligarh Muslim University at 11 this morning. Prime Minister will also release a postal stamp during the event. The Prime Minister to deliver inaugural address this evening at the India International Science Festival.
Jammu and Kashmir DDC election 2020 results to be declared today. It's the first results after the abrogation of Article 370. Counting to begin from 9 a.m.
High-level committee headed by Home Minister constituted to commemorate the 125th birth anniversary of Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose. Prime Minister Modi requests the countrymen to mark the upcoming birth anniversary in a grand manner.
India-Bangladesh DG level talks to begin from today. Talks will focus on border-related issues including curbing trans-border crimes.
India suspends all the flights to and from the UK till 31st December amidst emergence of a new mutant strain of COVID-19. In Maharashtra, 14-day institutional quarantine mandatory for travellers from Europe and the Middle East. Many countries also close borders with Britain.
Global fight against coronavirus continues. EU clears Pfizer vaccine for first inoculations. US President Joe Biden gets coronavirus vaccine after US inoculation efforts mount. $892 billion coronavirus bill clears hurdle in US Congress. Well, now for the stories in detail, starting first up with the Prime Minister getting a big honor.
Absolutely. US President Donald Trump has presented the Legion of Merit to Prime Minister Modi for his leadership in elevating the US-India strategic partnership. India's ambassador to the US, Taranjit Singh Sandhu, accepted the award on behalf of Prime Minister Modi from the US National Security Advisor Robert O'Brien at the White House. The highest degree chief commander of the Legion of Merit is given only to the head of the state or government of other nations. It is awarded for outstanding service, fidelity and loyalty in either combat or non-combat positions. And let's now go across to our correspondent Arun Sharma for more updates as far as Prime Minister Modi being presented the prestigious Legion of Merit award for his leadership in elevating the strategic partnership between the two countries. Arun, good morning. It's the highest honor yet again coming in for Prime Minister Modi. The US President Donald Trump, in fact, presenting the award to Prime Minister Modi.
Good morning, Anil. Good morning, Nancy. Indeed, it's a big honor for India as well. And Prime Minister Narendra Modi receiving or primarily honored by the Legion of Merit Award. Now, this is the topmost defense award as well, a military award also, you can say that. And earlier also, Nancy, various other countries has also awarded this highest honor to Prime Minister Narendra Modi. That includes Afghanistan, that includes UAE, that includes Palestine, that includes Russia as well, that includes Palestine as well. So
Yes.
there are various other countries who have honored with the highest award to Prime Minister Narendra Modi. And recently only Prime Minister Narendra Modi also got the Champions of the Earth award as far as Swachhta program is concerned, and the United Nations has also awarded Prime Minister Narendra Modi for the environmental policies. So when specifically when we talk about the Legion of the Merit Award, it is honor. This has been awarded to Prime Minister Narendra Modi for elevation of the India-US strategic ties primarily. But we have also seen that during the Prime Minister Narendra Modi's tenure, the relationship, the bilateral relationship, the strategic relationship between India and USA has also elevated. An important part is that Nancy, that various important defense pact was signed during this tenure also, be it the Comcasa, be it the BECA, that includes the basic exchange of various important and sensitive coordinates and various important exchange as well as far as the defense is concerned. And we also know this fact that as far as India and US are concerned, India has purchased or procured primarily close to more than $15 billion of defense equipments and defense infrastructure from USA, and US considers India as a major defense trading partner. And important initiatives or you can say that important milestones were achieved as far as India-US defense ties are concerned. As far as technology transfer is concerned, DTII was established that ensures that a smooth passage of technology can be done as far as defense is concerned. As far as technology transfer is concerned between from US to Indian side. As far as Indo-Pacific is concerned, lot has been achieved as far as Indian-US is concerned. And if you notice this award that is also being given to the top leader, to Shinzo Abe, the former Japanese Prime Minister, and of course Scott Morrison, the Australian Prime Minister. So these countries are also the Quad countries. The Quad countries have played an important role as far as security and prosperity of the Indo-Pacific region is concerned. So all in all, if you look at this award is given to Prime Minister Narendra Modi, that also ensures the cementing ties or the strengthening ties between India and US, and how Prime Minister Narendra Modi has played an important role as far as cementing and elevating the ties between India and US.
Okay, Arun, also does it give a sense that this particular, it's a validation of the leadership that Prime Minister Modi brings to the table, not only with relations to India and US, but also when it comes to a global stature elevation that the Prime Minister gets, purely looking at it in terms of the global challenges that were there before us, especially in this COVID times. And overall, if you see the 6 years that the Prime Minister has led, this is a validation of all that the Prime Minister has done, making India a global power.
Oh, absolutely. And as I mentioned earlier also, Anil, that the Legion of Merit Award is given for the non-combat roles, and of course it's a military award given to the person for the highest achievements or the performances. Important aspect is that not only USA, Russia has earlier given award, the highest honor award to Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Palestine, UAE, Afghanistan, these countries have also honored Prime Minister Narendra Modi. The United Nations has also awarded Prime Minister Narendra Modi for the environmental program. So this shows that how a global statesman, or primarily how a global leader Prime Minister Narendra Modi is, and how he's emerging as a global leader. Because Prime Minister Narendra Modi, as of now, during the COVID pandemic time, not only ensured that how can India combat COVID-19, but India has also ensured that how can India provide or extend and help to other countries as well, as far as providing hydroxychloroquine medicine, as far as providing various healthcare equipments, providing health to more than 150 countries. This shows that how a global statesman Prime Minister Narendra Modi has become, and that's the reason this is again a reiteration of that point, that a global award primarily to a global leader like Prime Minister Narendra Modi.
Absolutely, and just to in fact to sum it up, Arun, also in fact in these challenging times, India and of course Prime Minister Modi making it clear at different fora that India is standing by and will provide all the assistance, and in fact sort of be a pharmaceutical hub really for the nations that will need all the help, and in fact help them tackle these challenging times, the crisis that we're all facing. Thanks very much, Arun, for joining us and sharing all those updates. Let's move on now to some other news.
Well, shifting focus, Prime Minister Narendra Modi will address the centenary celebrations of the Aligarh Muslim University today via video conferencing. Prime Minister will also release a postal stamp during the event. Chancellor of the university and the Union Education Minister will both be present on this occasion.
And Prime Minister Modi will inaugurate the 6th India International Science Festival today. The virtual festival, based on the theme of Science for Atmanirbhar Bharat and Global Welfare, will conclude on the 25th December. Here's a report.
The 6th India International Science Festival will be held from 22nd to 25th of this month in order to spread awareness about science and technology in the country. It will be inaugurated by Prime Minister Narendra Modi on 22nd December. Giving detailed information about the India International Science Festival in New Delhi on Monday, Union Science and Technology Minister Dr. Harshvardhan said, "We don't want to stop the traditions that promote scientific thought despite COVID-19 pandemic, and so this time the festival will be held virtually."
2020 के वर्ष को ये साइंस का वर्ष कहूँ या वैज्ञानिकों का वर्ष कहूँ या वैज्ञानिकों की उपलब्धियों का वर्ष कहूँ या ये कहूँ कि the scientific community really rose to the occasion in 2020 in spite of COVID and everything, not only in India but all across the world, तो ये कोई अतिशयोक्ति शायद नहीं होगी.
The theme for this year's festival is Science for Atmanirbhar Bharat and Global Welfare. Scientific and technical efforts to attain the goals of Atmanirbhar Bharat mission will be discussed in the event. The festival is being held on the occasion of birth anniversary of renowned Indian mathematician of global repute, Srinivas Ramanujan, and this event will continue till the birth anniversary of late Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee.
This year's Science Festival is being organized. We are converting this particular challenge into an opportunity to showcase that we can organize one of the largest gathering of scientists, students, science lovers in society online, in the online platform.
The Science Festival is being organized by Department of Science and Technology, Council for Scientific and Industrial Research, Ministry of Earth Sciences, Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, Vigyan Bharati and Department of Biotechnology, and supported by a large number of other organizations. It will be attended by a large number of students, teachers, scientists, researchers, entrepreneurs and artists. Rishi Kumar's report for DD India.
Well, the counting of votes polled in Jammu and Kashmir's District Development Council elections will begin in all 20 districts today. All arrangements have been put in place for the counting, which will begin at 9 a.m. There are 2,181 candidates contesting for 280 seats.
In Jammu and Kashmir, all arrangements are in place for the counting of votes in all 280 District Development Council constituencies. Counting will begin at 9 a.m. on Tuesday simultaneously across all districts. Fate of 2,181 candidates for 280 DDC seats will be decided on Tuesday.
जीतने वाले जो या फर्स्ट या सेकंड रनर अप रहेंगे उन कैंडिडेट्स उन सभी की सिक्योरिटी को इसमें हमने कंसिडर किया हुआ है. साथ साथ जहाँ पे सेंसिटिव एरियाज है, प्लेसेस है, विलेजेस है, वहाँ पे भी स्पेशल टीम्स लगाई है, स्पेशल क्यूआरटीज वहाँ पे रखी है लॉ एंड ऑर्डर मोड में.
On Saturday, after culmination of the DDC polls, Lieutenant Governor Manoj Sinha thanked people of Union Territory for reposing their faith in democracy. He said people of J&K voted for a new and better tomorrow.
त्रिस्तरीय डेमोक्रेसी जबरदस्त तरीके से जम्मू कश्मीर में काम करे, इसके लिए हम सब पूरा सहयोग करेंगे और आने वाले दिनों में डिस्ट्रिक्ट डेवलपमेंट बोर्ड का जो गठन होगा तो जिले के विकास की पूरी जिम्मेदारी चुने हुए प्रतिनिधियों को मिले और वो काम करें, इसका हम सब प्रयास करेंगे.
BJP National Spokesperson and DDC Election in Charge, Kashmir, Shahnawaz Hussain said, people's participation in recent elections is a victory of democracy. While addressing a press conference in Srinagar, he said, people have showed their faith and trust in democratic setup.
in जम्मू कश्मीर का ये डिस्ट्रिक्ट डेवलपमेंट काउंसिल का चुनाव इंडियन हिस्ट्री में सोने के अक्षर से लिखा जाएगा, क्योंकि ये पहला चुनाव है जिसके अंदर कहीं कोई हिंसा नहीं हुई, कोई झगड़ा नहीं हुआ.
Highest voting percentage was witnessed in the 7th phase, where 57.22% voters exercised their franchise. Lowest voting percentage was 48.62% in the 2nd phase. The first phase, 51.76% voters cast their vote, while 50.53% voters exercised their franchise in the 3rd phase. In the 4th phase, percentage was 50.08. percentage was 51.20, while in the 6th, 51.51% people cast their ballot. In the 8th and final phase, 50.98% voters exercised their franchise.
70 साल तक जो आज तक यहाँ के सियासतदान ने लोगों को धोखे में रखा था, तामीर तरक्की के नाम पे वोट ले रहे थे, उसके बदले खुद लोग मैदान में आ रहे हैं वोट डालने के लिए, अपने बच्चों का मुस्तकबिल संवारने के लिए।
अभी जो ये वोट है, हम खुद होके इसमें पार्टिसिपेट कर रहे हैं, क्योंकि यहाँ पे जो आज तक खानदानी राज चल रहा था उसको हम बाहर करना चाह रहे हैं।
खुशी, पानी खुशी। हाँ।
The maiden DTC polls have significance for being the first polling activity since the abrogation of Article 370 by the centre. 7 Kashmir-centric mainstream political parties, including National Conference and People's Democratic Party, contested the elections in alliance under the banner of People's Alliance for Gupkar Declaration. DD India.
And let's now go across to our correspondent Ramesh Raina, who's joining us with more updates as far as the counting of the DDC elections today is concerned. Good morning, Ramesh. First of all, give us a sense of the arrangements that have been put in place as far as counting is concerned for the DDC elections, and you know how this has really been a great success conducting these elections, the 8-phase DDC elections, and really a great beginning to this kick-starting the political process in the Union Territory.
Absolutely right that these are the first these District Development Council polls were the first after the abrogation of 370, and is the first democratic process after this reorganization of erstwhile J&K state into 2 union territories. So far as arrangements are being concerned, since these 280 constituencies, the counting of votes will be taken up at all the district headquarters, and in Jammu, the counting will be taken up at Government Polytechnic College. And there are tight security arrangements have been made, and only people and the persons, the polling agents, their proper security passes have been issued to them, and they are at the entry gates they are being frisked, and even those even the media persons they are also allowed there after they are being first sanitized, then their thermal scanning will be done. So there are proper security arrangements have been made there.
Ramesh, considering that we've seen over the 8 phases, over 51% of vote, if you see across the 8 phases. Having said that, which are the main political parties in the fray, and how do you see? Is it a contest between 2 groups, or do you see a triangular contest there?
See, in Jammu, BJP is there, and so far as you mentioned your report that in Kashmir Valley, PAGD, that National Conference and PDP, the contest under the banner of PAGD. So these polls are very significant, and I will tell you that prominent candidates are there. Some former ministers like Taj Mohideen and Shabir Khan, they are 4 former ministers of Congress. Trilok Singh Bajwa was former member of parliament. Also from Congress, Jagjivan Lal and Abdul Ghani Malik, they were both former ministers from National Conference. And so far as BJP is concerned, their former ministers, Sham Chaudhary is one, Shakti Parihar, their former ministers, Professor Gaurav Bhagat, also Minister Bharat Bhushan. So these are very important elections. They were also considered significance. Prominent candidates from all the parties are in the fray. So in Kashmir, it is okay. This PAGD, National Conference plus PDP. Firstly, Congress was also there, but after Congress said that they are not with that PAGD, and they also fought independently. Apart from this PAGD, Congress, and there is BJP. So almost in the 8 phases, the average is 51.42% polling in all these 8 phases, and you said that 2,181 candidates are there, and almost 30 lakh votes are to be counted. But since these votes are to be counted, it may take some time, because earlier they were counting was on EVMs, but since the polling was on the ballot boxes, it might take a little bit of time.
Okay. Ramesh, one quick word before I let you go. Since you said it's ballot boxes that are going to be used, by when do we see the results trickling, and when do we see the final sealing of results taking place?
See, had it been in EVMs, it would have taken much time. I think by evening, and in so far as Jammu is concerned, because in all the phases there was a heavy polling in the Jammu division, almost 70, 71, 72% in all the 8 phases. So it may take a little bit of time so far as Jammu is concerned. And in Kashmir Valley, there was almost 30%, if we say.
Okay.
It may take a little time there, but in Jammu, we are expecting after 3, we will start getting the results.
Sure.
Okay, we'll leave it there. Thank you and appreciate you joining us this morning. 280 seats up for grabs. The counting process begins at 9 a.m. We'll get you all the results as it unfolds there in the DDC elections. Well, moving forward now to the next story. Well, the government has constituted a high-level committee to commemorate the 125th birth anniversary of Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose. This high-level committee will decide on the activities for a one-year-long commemoration starting from the 23rd of January next year. The high-level committee is headed by Union Home Minister Amit Shah. The commemoration is being held as a tribute and as a mark of gratitude to the colossal contribution Netaji made to India's freedom struggle. Prime Minister Narendra Modi said that the government will soon commence the 125th Jayanti celebration of Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose. In a tweet, Prime Minister Modi said, and I quote, "Netaji Subhash Bose's bravery is well known, a scholar, soldier and statesman par excellence. We are soon to commence his 125th Jayanti celebrations. For that, a high-level committee has been formed. Come, let us mark this special occasion in a grand manner."
And moving on now to all the COVID-19 updates. While India has suspended all the flights to and from the UK till 31st December and all the passengers transiting from the UK to be tested for COVID-19 at the airports upon arrival, after Union Health Ministry held a high-level meeting to review the situation arising out of emergence of the new strain of COVID-19. The Union Health Minister has assured people to not panic. Meanwhile, most nations have closed their borders with Britain, and European Union held emergency meeting in Brussels to review the emergent situation. Here's the report.
ये सब इमेजिनरी सिचुएशंस, इमेजिनरी बातें, इमेजिनरी पैनिक, इन सब के अंदर आप अपने आप को मत उलझाइए। सरकार हर बात के लिए पूरी तरह से सजग है। जनवरी के महीने में भी कभी किसी भी स्टेज पे, किसी भी सप्ताह में ऐसा समय आ सकता है जब हम भारत के लोगों को पहला जो वैक्सीन का शॉट है वो देने की स्थिति में आ जाए।
Union Health Minister reassuring the country that health authorities remain vigilant and prepared to deal with the new, more transmissible strain of the coronavirus identified in Britain, adding that there was no need to panic. He also announced that the COVID-19 vaccine may be ready to roll out in India as early as January 2021. A high-level meeting in the Health Ministry discussed the new strain. The country WHO representative was also present in the meeting. A decision to suspend all flights originating from UK to India till 31st December 2020 was taken. Further, as a measure of abundant precaution, passengers arriving from UK in all transit flights, including flights that have taken off or flights which are reaching India before 22nd December at 23:59 hours, will have to take a mandatory RT-PCR test on arrival at the airports concerned.
अभी तक जो हमारे पास जानकारी है, दिस ओनली अप्लाइज टू केसेस इन यूनाइटेड किंगडम, और जब हम इसको रिव्यू करेंगे 31 दिसंबर से पहले और ये फैसला करेंगे कि ये जो टेम्परेरी सस्पेंशन है इसको रिव्यू करना चाहिए, हटाना चाहिए, नहीं, उसके बाद वो जब सर्विसेज रिज्यूम होंगी तो मुझे पूरी उम्मीद है उनको ट्रैवल की सुविधा दी जाएगी।
यहाँ इस प्रकार की कोई बढ़ोतरी की स्थिति अभी तक नहीं पाई गई है, जांच प्रक्रिया में है, और उसको देखते हुए एहतियात तौर पर हम लोगों ने सारी व्यवस्था काम किया है। कोई घबराने की जरूरत नहीं है, कोई पैनिक होने की जरूरत नहीं है, इसको बराबर ध्यान रखने की आवश्यकता है।
Meanwhile, authorities in the UK are working on a war footing to contain the spread of the mutant strain of the COVID-19 virus. London and most of southeast England have entered a Tier 4 lockdown. Over 30 countries have announced a ban on travel from UK till 31st.
And there have been thousands of variants of coronavirus. It's just that the particular one that we've seen in Kent and London, the thing which has led to the Tier 4 lockdown, is a particularly virulent variant of the virus. So it means that it spreads more easily. We've detected that first, but we know already that the cases have been found in continental Europe and other countries, including countries which have placed travel bans.
France has announced a ban on all forms of transport from UK. However, on a reassuring note, it has said that the supply of coronavirus vaccines to UK will not be impacted. French Health Minister also said that the mutation will not impact the efficacy of vaccines. Germany's Foreign Minister said that the European Union needs to respond jointly and in a coordinated fashion to the new coronavirus strain.
At this stage, if there is a variation in the DNA or the RNA of the virus, then scientists would have to evolve a new vaccine, but this is not the case currently.
It is extremely important to us that there be a coordinated European approach, which is why we immediately activated the European Crisis Reaction Mechanism. The relevant coordination meeting is happening.
Australia said on Monday it had detected cases of the new virulent coronavirus strain identified in the UK. 2 travellers from the United Kingdom to Australia's New South Wales state were found carrying the mutated variant of the virus that Britain has said could be up to 70% more infectious. While the mutation possesses an additional challenge, the basic rules to contain the COVID-19 pandemic remain the same. Practice social distancing, wear a mask and wash hands frequently, but perhaps with added vigilance and emphasis. DD India.
Well, following the temporary suspension of flights between the United Kingdom and India, the BMC, that's the Mumbai Municipal Corporation, has issued certain guidelines for the Mumbai International Airport which are to be followed. The BMC said that starting Tuesday midnight, the following directives have been issued under the Epidemic Disease Act 1897 and the Disaster Management Act 2005 must be followed at the Mumbai International Airport. Here are the new rules. Passengers arriving from United Kingdom subject to mandatory institutional quarantine. If symptomatic, passengers have to be shifted to Seven Hills Hospital for treatment. No RT-PCR test on arrival, RT-PCR test on the 5th to 7th day of quarantine. Arrangements to be made by the Mumbai Electric Supply and Transport for passengers. PPE kits to be provided to immigration officers, airport workers. Collector MSD to monitor the operations.
And as a precautionary measure amidst increasing numbers of new COVID-19 variants spreading in the UK, the Maharashtra government has announced night curfew from 11 at night to 6 in the morning in major cities across the state from today till the 5th of January. The Chief Minister Uddhav Thackeray held a meeting in this regard with top officials from the state, and in an official statement it is announced that institutional quarantine has been made mandatory for all the passengers from all over Europe and the Middle East for 14 days after landing at the airport. Also, home quarantine is mandatory for passengers from other countries. And due to the new COVID-19 strain, the state is taking extra precautions and will have to be more vigilant for the next 15 days. And also, passengers will be subjected to RT-PCR tests during the 5th to the 7th day of the quarantine, and they will be allowed to go home after completing their quarantine period. The Chief Minister also directed to set up a separate hospital for passengers from Europe if they have symptoms of the new virus. The Chief Minister also directed to provide PPE kits to all the airport staff checking passengers from European countries and the Middle Eastern countries.
Meanwhile, Ministry of Health and Family Welfare informed that India's trajectory of tests steadily rose from the month of May and has been continuously witnessing an upward surge. Meanwhile, the trajectory for cases per million and deaths per million also witnessed a slight surge in the past 5 months.
In some other news now, the National Investigating Agency has arrested 17 accused persons for their involvement in the violent attack and the large-scale rioting at the Kejihali police station in Bengaluru on 11th August. Rioting were followed by a Facebook post by the nephew of Akhand Srinivasa Murthy and the MLA of Pulakeshi Nagar constituency, P. Naveen. The investigation so far has revealed that the many SDPI leaders along with other senior leaders had conducted meetings wherein they conspired, mobilized and led the crowd gathered at the Kejihali police station to attack the police personnel. The riots caused huge damage to the public and police station vehicles. The probe also revealed the use of social media channels like Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp to spread terror among people and mobilize people away from far away places to gather at the Kejihali police station. So far, 187 accused persons have been arrested and further investigation is continuing.
The 51st Director General level talks, the coordination conference between the Border Security Force and the Border Guard Bangladesh will be organized from today till the 26th of December in Guwahati. During this conference, BSF delegation led by BSF DG Rakesh Asthana will hold talks with BGB delegation headed by BGB DG Major General Mohammad Shafinul Islam. The aim of the director-level talks is to discuss border-related issues and to enable better coordination between both border guarding forces. The conference will focus on addressing and streamlining mechanisms on how to jointly curb various trans-border crimes and timely sharing of information between both border guarding forces. There will be deliberations on developmental and infrastructure works, joint efforts for effective implementation of coordinated border management plan and confidence-building measures. The last BSF-BGB Border Coordination Conference was held from the 16th to the 19th of September this year at Dhaka.
And well, as Christmas is approaching, the market for Christmas cribs and decorations is slowly waking up from the slumber in Kerala. Shopkeepers say the LED plastic Christmas stars are in more demand than the traditional Christmas stars made from paper. The durability of these items take priority with the customers, and they say the rush of children to the shops are not visible as it used to happen in vacations of previous years. And all the decorations items for Christmas trees ranging from the colorful ribbons, balloons and other decorations are all ready and up in the market. The statue items to be placed in Christmas cribs are all in place for sale. The shopkeepers are hoping that the market will finally be active with full energy to compensate for the long dull market because of COVID-19.
Well, India recorded a 60% increase in the population of leopards. Union Environment Minister Prakash Javadekar announced on Monday. Releasing the status of leopards in India 2018 report in New Delhi, the minister said the number of leopards in the country has gone up to 12,852. Our correspondent Taposh Bhattacharya spoke to SP Yadav, Member Secretary, National Tiger Conservation Authority, on the achievement, and this is what he has to say.
Instrumental in getting out this report. Again, we have seen an increase in the leopard population. What are the major takeaways from this report?
This is really good news that we could finally release the leopard estimation at country level today. We conduct All India Tiger Estimation once in a 4 year, and entire landscape in tiger habitat, we deploy camera traps, and these camera traps, when they are deployed, they capture the photographs of not only tigers but all other animals. So we get a lot of information about the wild world. Similarly, this leopard photographs, their pattern of rosette, that spots on the skin of leopards, they are unique. So based on their unique pattern of spots on skin, we could identify the unique leopards. And based on analysis, we have come out with the figure of All India Tiger Estimation of leopards in tiger range states only, with a figure, and that has shown a remarkable increase in this population. If you compare with the leopard population of 2014 to 18, we have registered more than 60% increase in the population. That shows that our management of tiger reserves is going well in the right direction. And when we say that tiger is umbrella species, and when tiger is protected, it protects all other species and co-predators as well. So this is very much indicative by this report that this is happening in our country.
Absolutely, you're bang on there, sir, that the tiger is a apex species. But is there any proposal to increase the number of tiger reserves and also have more leopard population in those particular places?
In fact, as far as tiger reserves are concerned, right now we have 50 tiger reserves in the country covering more than 72,000 square kilometer of area. We have identified certain potential habitats of tiger across the country. So we are working with the state governments to declare these areas as a tiger reserve. So the tiger number might increase in near future. And when these tiger reserves, we invest a lot of money under the centrally sponsored scheme of Project Tiger in these areas. So if we invest this money in protection and habitat management, definitely the leopard population will also see an increase.
So that was SP Yadav telling us there is an increase in the population of the leopards in the recently released report by the ministry, and once again showcases India's growing stature in preserving such species. With camera person SP Dubey, this is Tapush Bhattacharya, DD India, Delhi.
And let's now move on to our next segment and get you all the news from around the world in across the globe. And taking a look now at all the updates on COVID-19 from across the world. The COVID-19 pandemic continues to loom around the world, infecting more than 7.76 crore people, while the tally of recoveries has crossed 5.45 crore worldwide. The virus has claimed over 17,08,000 lives globally. The US still remains the worst affected with COVID-19, with more than 1.84 crore cases of infection and over 3,26,000 fatalities, followed by Brazil in terms of death toll, where around 1,87,000 lives have been lost due to COVID-19 pandemic.
US President-elect Joe Biden received his first dose of the Pfizer COVID-19 vaccine on Monday in Delaware. At age 78, Biden is in the high-risk category for the highly contagious respiratory disease. He urged Americans to get the vaccine when it is available. The United States now has 2 authorized vaccines to protect against the virus, one developed by Pfizer and German partner BioNTech that was cleared for use on the 11th of December. While Moderna vaccine was approved on Friday. Over 2.9 million shots of Pfizer-BioNTech vaccine were distributed last week and mostly given to healthcare workers. About 50 million people in the United States will have had the first of the 2 shots needed for immunization by the end of January.
Now, the World Health Organization has said it expects to get more details soon on the potential impact of a new COVID-19 strain, as a slew of countries have closed their borders with Britain over fears about its spread. WHO expert Mike Ryan said there is no evidence the mutated variant of the virus increases the severity of the disease, although it's more transmissible. He added that countries were acting out of a precautionary principle in reaction to the variant and said that was prudent.
The Spanish government on Monday has said it would reinforce controls at its borders with Gibraltar amid concerns over a rapidly spreading new strain of COVID-19. Spain will ban all travels from Britain except Spanish nationals and residents from entering the country from Tuesday. Controls at the border with Gibraltar will be stepped up. The government statement said that the entry ban for non-residents has been coordinated with neighboring Portugal, which announced its decision late on Sunday.
Now, in the US, after months of Washington gridlock, the Congress came in action to act on a $892 billion pandemic relief package. The House of Representatives voted to pass the bill with majority. The bill now will be considered by the Senate for approval. The White House-backed bill includes $600 payments to most Americans, as well as additional payments to the millions of people thrown out of work during the COVID-19 pandemic. The package will provide new assistance for individuals and businesses battered by the surging COVID-19 pandemic. The bill would see direct payments made to most Americans and provide enhanced payments to unemployed people. It would also expand a small business lending program and steer money to schools, airlines, transit systems, and vaccine distribution.
The World Health Organization said that it expects to get more details soon on the potential impact of the new coronavirus strain as a slew of countries close their borders to Britain over fears about its spread. WHO expert Mike Ryan said that there is no evidence the mutated variant of the virus increased the severity of the disease, although it is more transmissible. He added that countries were acting out of a precautionary principle in reaction to the variant and said that was prudent.
Now, British Prime Minister Boris Johnson has said that French President Emmanuel Macron was keen to resolving the border issues. France shut its border to the arrivals of people and trucks from Britain, closing off one of the most important trade arteries with mainland Europe over fears of a highly infectious new COVID-19 strain. Johnson also said that over 500,000 people had received the COVID-19 vaccine in the country. Earlier this month, the UK became the first country in the world to roll out the vaccine made by Pfizer and BioNTech.
Well, several countries have banned flights from South Africa over the discovery of a new variant of COVID-19. South Africa's health department said last week that a new genetic mutation of COVID-19 was found in the country and may be responsible for a recent surge in infections. The fast spreading strain was the same which was being reported in Britain. At least 5 countries and airlines including Germany, Turkey, Saudi Arabia, Israel and Switzerland banned flights from South Africa on Monday.
And with that, let's move on now to our next segment and get you all the news from the World Wide Web in our segment Web Review.
Well, moving to our next segment, Web Review, we've got Preeti joining us this morning. Preeti, good morning. You've got your cup of coffee. Let's go ahead and listen to the stories now.
Yes, good morning Anil and good morning Nancy, and a warm good morning to all our viewers also. When we talk of coffee, yes, I'm already done with my coffee and all ready with the Web Review. When we talk of the Web Review, the first slide which I pick up this morning is from the Times of India. The Times of India talks of how from December 23rd till 31st, all flights from the United Kingdom have been cancelled owing to the detection of a new strain of COVID-19 virus in the country there, and also all the passengers who are arriving from United Kingdom will be required to sit in for the mandatory RT-PCR test, and accordingly they will be directed to institutional or monitored home isolation for 14 days. Also, the paper gives us the details of how Maharashtra has imposed night curfew from 11 p.m. till 6 a.m. and all large gatherings and all late night outings will be prohibited, and all people will be required to reach homes by 11 p.m. And also when we talk of the new COVID-19 strain which has been witnessed in the United Kingdom just a while back, our channel also showed the details of that. Added to that, the next slide which we pick up this morning is from the Hindustan Times. The Hindustan Times of how talks of how the Chinese President Xi Jinping has replaced PLA commander, and General Zhao Zongqi has been replaced with Zhang Zudong. Now, the headline says it all. It was the PLA commander who started the Ladakh standoff, and he has been replaced. Also, the report gives us the details. It says a change of guard in the leadership of the Western Theatre Command is believed that General Zhao's replacement may not be that anti-India because he had also engineered the 2017 Doklam conflict, and he is believed to be a hardliner against India and Bhutan. So these are the details which have been put forth by the paper. The next slide I pick up this morning is coming in from the Tribune. The Tribune talks of how the leopard population has witnessed a rise of a massive 60%. It refers to the report which was released yesterday by Environment Minister Prakash Javadekar, and he talks of this census, of this counting of the leopards which till 2018, and now India has presently 12,852 leopards. And the maximum number of the leopards, leopard count has been reported from Madhya Pradesh with 3,421, Karnataka with 1,783 and Maharashtra with 1,690. Added to that, the paper also gets us the details of how this means that India has been protecting its biodiversity and also the other aspects related to environment. With that, I'll pick up the next paper. The next paper is the Indian Express, and it talks of the massive fall which was witnessed in the markets yesterday. When we talk of the fall there, the biggest losers on the index were ONGC. The banking sector witnessed the maximum losses led by IndusInd Bank, Mahindra and Mahindra, and also SBI, NTPC and ITC. These were the biggest losers on the markets, and the markets performed bad yesterday owing to the new strain of the COVID-19 which has been seen in the United Kingdom. Also, the paper talks of, on your screens, we have the numbers. Sensex crashes 1,407, Nifty ends below 13,350 mark, and banks, autos, metals fall. With that, however, that was grim enough. When we talk of the last slide this morning, it is coming in from Times of India, and it talks of how Sundar Nursery in the national capital has been awarded by the UNESCO. 2 awards have been given, and it is setting a new bar, as said by UNESCO. Sundar Nursery is also called City's Green Lungs, and it has 20 monuments spread over 90 acres of park. And also it says the 2 awards which have been awarded are UNESCO Asia Pacific Award for Cultural Heritage Conservation, that is Award for Excellence, and Special Recognition for Sustainable Development. Also, the slide talks of the other sites also in India which have been awarded. The Kuthalam at Guruvayur Temple in Thrissur and Amar Singh College in Srinagar and Malabari Hill Building in Mumbai have also been recognized and awarded by UNESCO. So with that, on that positive and optimistic and a happy note, I'll end this web review here. It's back to Nancy and Anil for the rest of the breakfast show.
Preeti, that's a wonderful advice that you've given. Sundar Nursery. We would plan to take our children out to Sundar Nursery. At least now that it's the lungs of Delhi, and we need to take our kids out to better places. Thank you and appreciate you joining us this morning with those updates there from the World Wide Web. Well, time now to move on to our next segment. That's business, taking a look at all the business stories in Business Buzz.
The Finance Ministry has released the 8th weekly installment of 6,000 crore rupees to the states to meet the GST compensation shortfall. Out of this, an amount of 5,516 crore rupees has been released to 23 states and 483 crore rupees released to 3 union territories with the Legislative Assembly, Delhi, Jammu and Kashmir and Puducherry, who are the members of the GST Council. The remaining 5 states, Arunachal Pradesh, Manipur, Mizoram, Nagaland and Sikkim, do not have a gap in the revenue on account of GST implementation. The Government of India had set up a special borrowing window in October this year to meet the estimated shortfall of around 1 lakh crore rupees in revenue arising on account of implementation of the GST. The borrowings are being done through this window by the Government of India on behalf of the states and the union territories. The borrowings have been done in 7 rounds. The amount released this week was the 8th installment of such funds provided to the states. The amount has been borrowed this week at an interest rate of 4.19%. So far, an amount of 48,000 crore rupees has been borrowed by the central government through the special borrowing window at an average interest rate of 4.69%. And with that, let's move on now to our next segment, and that's the health story of the day.
Well, talking of health, diet plays a very important role in building immunity and overall well-being. Maintaining a nutritious diet is as important as ever during the winter months. Watch this report to know what foods can help to keep you healthy during winters.
Our eating habits suddenly go for a toss in winters. Intake of fatty and oily foods increases. Comfort foods are ever so fattening. Add to that, our lethargy to work out because it's cold becomes the reason for putting on weight. So knowing about what is the right diet for this season is must.
During winters, there is a lot of fruits available in the market like papaya, guava, amla and citrus fruit, mosmis. You can consume it in a salad form, as a fruit chaat or in various ways. These are abundant source of vitamins, minerals in your diet. Amla is a good source of vitamin C. Guava is also a good source of vitamin C, calcium, and citrus fruit you can consume it as it is instead of fruit juices. These are good source of antioxidants, and all the colorful fruits are source of antioxidant, vitamins, minerals, potassium. Green vegetables are good sources of iron, calcium, vitamin A, vitamin K, vitamin B as zinc. These are essential ingredients, nutrients important for the body functions.
A good diet is an essential part of health care, and winter time is no different. It is important to maintain proper hydration and follow some dietary precautions.
Reduce the intake of fried food item, saturated fats like pure ghee, butter, cream, pizza and all the junk food that have high content of fat in it. They contain minimum amount of nutrients and high quantity of energy dense content like fat and refined starches.
Eating sensibly ensures that you maintain a strong immune system, build up a strong resistance against infections and keeps you healthy during the season. Kiran Bhardwaj, DD News.
And with that, let's now move on, take a look at the significance of this day in history.
It was on this day in 1851 that India's first freight train was operated between Roorkee and Piran-Khaliyar. It was used for transporting construction and clay for farmers in Roorkee. It was on this day in 1854 that Sharda Devi, wife and spiritual counterpart of Ramakrishna Paramahansa, the 19th century mystic of Bengal, was born in Jairambati, a small village near Kolkata. Sharda Devi is also addressed as the Holy Mother, Shri Ma, by followers of the Ramakrishna monastic order. It was on this day in 1887 legendary Indian mathematician Srinivasan Ramanuja was born at Erode in Tamil Nadu. He made substantial contributions to the analytical theory of numbers and worked on continued fractions and infinite series. It was on this day in 1989 the Brandenburg Gate in Berlin was reopened, signifying the reunification of East and West Germany. Well, after a look at history, it's time now to take a look at the weather. First, take a look at the satellite image, followed by temperatures in your city. No significant change is likely in minimum and maximum temperatures over plains of northwest and adjoining central India during the next 2 days. No large change in minimum temperatures over western India during the next 24 hours, and then gradual rise by 2 to 3 degrees Celsius during subsequent 2 days over the region. Fall in minimum temperatures by 2 to 3 degrees over northeast India during the next 2 days. No cold day conditions likely over northwest and adjoining central India during the next 48 hours except for Uttar Pradesh. Dense to very dense fog is likely in isolated pockets over Punjab, Haryana, Chandigarh and Delhi during 23rd to 25th. Dense fog is also likely in isolated pockets over Punjab, Haryana, Chandigarh and Delhi during the morning hours today. The current spell of cold wave, cold day conditions are likely to continue at few places over eastern Uttar Pradesh with it continuing for the next 24 hours. Dense to very dense fog likely over pockets of North Uttar Pradesh and North Bihar today and tomorrow. Current spell of cold wave and cold wave conditions likely to continue over Bihar, Gangetic West Bengal and interior Odisha during the next 24 hours and then likely to lessen in the subsequent 24 hours. Well, time now to take a look at the temperatures in your city. Well, that's all we have time for in this edition of Breakfast News. But before we go, we've got a campaign running for you where we are requesting you to wear your mask, and it's called Mask Up India, that we're running on DD News as well as DD India. We are expecting you to wear your mask as you step out of your house. As we step out of the studios, we'll mask ourselves up to protect ourselves, and we request you to do so as you step out of your homes.
Absolutely. Well, it's a simple task. Do wear your mask. And before we end the show today, we're leaving you with the glimpses of young kids who have sung timeless carols to help people get into the spirit of Christmas, of giving and forgiving. Take a look at those visuals and stay safe, be good, take good care of yourself and your loved ones. Thanks for being with us.
On Christmas morn, to the Lord where I send thee, how shall I send thee? Hey, hey, my Lord and Lord.